YouTube's dislike button doesn't do what you think. Pressing don't recommend channel would stop only 43% of unwanted video recommendations, while the dislike button stopped only 12% of recommendations users did not like.
Now a warning.
This video will likely contain lots of swearing and editing and clips out of context because it's biased as
I am a sad old man with a sad moustache.
Is Holocaust denial an inherently bad thing in itself? Is the sort of video you can expect from Simon Webb's channel, along with all the other classic history hits like
BT, ID cards, knife crimes, diversity quotas, cancel culture, transgenderism, Andrew Tate,
and Russell Brand.
Always my favourite lesson was learning how to style your hair like you're stuck your fingers in a plug socket and how to always have
Consensual
relationships and become a right-wing grifter in your 40s.
Subscribe!
Slam begad.
BT, the company which runs a lot of the internet and telephones in this country, was always very sneaky about finding ways to get rid of some staff and employ particular groups whom they favoured.
They took our jobs!
In the 1980s, they wanted to move various operations out of London.
Why?
Because it was so expensive to be in the capital, but also because automation was coming to telephone exchanges and they simply didn't need that many staff.
Okay. Sounds like capitalism doing what capitalism always does. Nothing sneaky in my opinion.
Now, BT are at it again, only this time they want to get rid of white staff.
Take our job!
How can they be
At it again?
You said they were cutting costs and automating. What specific group of people were they trying to get rid of?
They have an aim for diversity, and one way of achieving this is to sack loads of white people.
Really?
This will automatically increase the proportion of black and Asian workers, of course.
Great!
And then any new recruitment will be carried out in places like Birmingham and Leicester, which will ensure that new staff are less likely to be white.
And?
It may be unconnected with the fact that the government of Britain is now directed by members of ethnic minorities, or this may be wholly irrelevant.
You know what's more relevant than Rishi Sunak being an ethnic minority?
Dum-dum.
Him being a super mega
Fucking
rich minority. Is it because you'd be happy as long as he was a
White billionaire.
Doctors at a leading teaching hospital in London are now being warned against asking inappropriate questions of patients.
Like what?
Asking what their name is.
Bollocks.
Asking a transsexual his or her name can be traumatic.
That's not true at all, is it?
Telegraph article Simon linked under his video does not contain the word
Traumatic.
11th paragraph says, there's no trust policy that says staff should not ask a patient's name and our staff
Always
address patients by their preferred name. Somebody with reading comprehension better than a fish commented, an accurate title for this video would be Trans Activists Asks Hospital to Not Use Patient's Name and is Ignored. But that won't get a transphobia pumping through your veins. Makes me wonder, how reliable are Simon's
history videos.
Well, that's the money question, isn't it?
Like it.
Somebody commented on my channel yesterday asking, has anyone noticed that lighter skinned black men are the most eloquent and intelligent?
No.
Very few dark-skinned black people, though, fall into this category, which is curious.
No, not really.
Of course, one explanation which springs immediately to mind
Racist.
would be that the more white ancestry a black person has, then the more likely he or she is to be intelligent.
bullshit.
This is hardly a scientific survey and tells us perhaps more about me and my own prejudices than it does anything else.
Absolutely.
Methinks I'm obviously too stupid to understand why the articles linked under his video support his claim.
I have spoken before of the fact that stabbing sprees in this country, that is to say when a man runs around in public stabbing strangers at random, are carried out only by fanatical Muslims or black people suffering from paranoid schizophrenia.
You can't even pretend to not be racist for 1 minute, can you?
Simon once again was kind enough to link 4 articles in his video, and only 3 of the men had schizophrenia and only 2 of those men were knife crimes. And one wasn't even from this
Millennium.
I'm informing you of the facts.
Every time that one thinks the trans business cannot get any stranger, along comes a news story which leaves one reeling in disbelief.
Doesn't bother me in the slightest.
The thumbnail to this video shows somebody called Dylan Mulvaney wearing a sports bra made by Nike.
So what?
The company is paying Mulvaney to advertise their product, and it received a glowing recommendation.
Doesn't bother me in the slightest.
The only thing is, Dylan Mulvaney is actually a male. Or at least he was born with a penis and so on and doesn't have any breasts. He's had no surgery or anything, but now identifies as a woman and apparently is famous in some social media circles for doing so. That's all fine, of course, but I fail to see how somebody with a male body and no breasts can possibly say whether a sports bra will be useful for a woman who does have breasts.
What about biological women with itty-bitty titties? This is a world map of bra sizes, which I only searched for this video. I'd never do it for any other reason. Methinks it shows there's many women worldwide with itty-bitty titties who might want an itty-bitty titty bra. Me's fascinated that Simon makes a lot of non-history videos about topics that he says
doesn't bother me in the slightest.
I seem to have inadvertently irritated one or two people with a video I released yesterday on the subject of children and their encounters with perverts such as flashers. One person in a comment today claims that I was condoning child sexual abuse and has taken it upon himself to provide a trigger warning for yesterday's video. This is a small illustration of what bloody fools there are in the world, and I suppose that it is possible that some people genuinely did think that I was condoning the abuse of children. Although when I said that I thoroughly disapproved of the molestation of children, that might have indicated otherwise to anybody with a couple of ears and a brain.
Methinks it's
so interesting.
You say that, but also removed the video you're talking about. So let's see what
Simon says. When I was a child in the 50s, there were various unpleasant experiences that sooner or later one was bound to encounter. Measles, being caned, and being molested by an adult.
Wait, what?
They were almost like rites of passage.
Oh man, geez, seriously?
Me wonder what age Simon's kids got there.
Rites of passage.
That is so gross!
There is a subject where humour may be found. It is child sexual abuse, or what is sometimes classified as child sexual abuse.
And it can be funny.
Duh.
It's true, in the hands of a skilled comedian, absolutely anything can be funny. And because you totally disapprove of child sexual abuse, then we can only wonder why you removed the video.
Like the bloody video.